We are the Dice Jailers. We are back with our continuing campaign. Thank you for joining us and still tuning in as we click towards our 50th session. This will be 46, I believe. So yeah, that's the fun part about recording this. You can actually see the numbers. It's just a nice reminder of how much cool storytelling shit we've done. So yeah, the music you're gonna hear brought to you by Sirenscape. They're awesome. They are free, or you can pay them if you want. I do because I want to, and they're a great way to integrate music into your tabletop game, either at home or if you're recording and streaming like we do. So Sirenscape, they rock. As usual, our friends, No Latency, save the D8. Any Heroes Anonymous, check them out. They check us out, and so yeah. Any of our friends I'm forgetting to mention, Jordan?
Smoking Glue Guns, Whitney for Dice, couple of our friends that have left Seattle to go down to LA, the Dice Cast Gaming, 12 million others. Did you say Ugly Radio?
I did not, and
Well, I did now.
I should have. That's right. Sorry, Shanks.
I'll say sorry to him in person today. I'm going to see him later tonight.
Awesome.
But with all that said, that brings us to the Jamie announcement.
Oh, you still can't talk about the thing that you can't talk about?
Yeah, still can't talk about the thing I can't talk about.
Okay. Oh, hi everyone. I was trying to stall for a little bit more time so I could think of something to say, but that didn't work. And now I'm going to vamp a little bit because I know that Bjorn has to look something up. So you're welcome. Oh, damn. Okay, guys. Ko-fi.com/dicejailers, which is on the page, which is over here, not next to me, but one more. You can see it. It's the thing that's nobody's face. That is where you would go to donate actual human monies to the ongoing running of this campaign. As we discussed last week, the next thing we have the money earmarked for is to create character portraits. And wouldn't that be freaking cool? Because I have a not so secret life goal and dream that someone create fan art of one of my characters. Because there have been, especially in the last campaign that went on forever and we went to level 20, and so we could do like crazy epic shit. There was so much stuff that happened that I'm like, I am mad that there is not fan art of this. Like, people should see how cool that was, and I should get to see a drawing of how very cool my character was in that moment. So until such time as that dream comes true, or also any of you out there, if you as you're watching this, if you feel like drawing a picture of any of us, that would I would actually weep with joy, unless it was Pahaku, and then I would be pissed. But
give the people what they want. You know what they want.
You gotta give the people what they want.
Actually, when I last week, no, what people should totally draw. Last week I was messaging, during the game, that when everybody had their duplicates up and the Pohakai were dancing, in my mind they became the Temptations. So if someone wants to draw like a lineup of the not Pohakai, I like that, doing like the Temptation, like looking like the Temptations, that please please
and
do
if you
that.
want to talk to us personally about things and pieces of flair that you might want to add to your fan art, if
you could do that,
yeah.
You could do that on our Discord server if you donated at the link over there. You would have access to our Discord server. You could see these awesome memes and stuff that are flying around during the game chats. You could chat with us. You could suggest other things. You could, say when they are dancing, maybe it's not the Temptations, maybe it's a boy band. And I can also get behind that. So, but if you're thinking to yourself, man, I can't draw, and I really do want Jamie to have this dream come true of having, art of her character. Oh my God, you can give us money, and then we can pay someone to draw the character for us at the link over there on your screen. So thank you very much for your attention, and money, please.
As I always like to say, we are a well-oiled machine.
I brought that around and it came together.
It did. Hey, no, I'm
Kind of.
including myself in this nonsense. I'm including myself. All that said, you all are currently in the Whispering Woods, specifically the Branch Mother's Den, home of one Pohaku Kahu, who has just had a bit of a homecoming. And upon this homecoming, was informed that he was not born here. He was found and adopted by his family. He is descended from those of the snake, specifically the snake being the world serpent, one of Loki's children. And while he was gone, this cave had basically opened up, and it was to be some sort of trial that awaited him. You all partied the night beforehand. There was a rave octopus, which is still one of the greatest things we've ever had, and I'm so glad for it. And it was a great use of wild magic sparklers. After the amazing party happened, the next day you all went into the trial, where it began with 2 hydras. And as you were dealing with those, more and more waves of snake-like creatures kept joining the fray, one of which Pohaku was able to charm and get to fight for you guys and protect. Lots of spells used to create mirror image duplicates, which came very much in handy, particularly for Manix. And as the battle started to look like it was in hand, a massive creature that looked to be made up of thousands of snakes, the Forgotten God, joined the fray.
Say the name the right way.
The Forgotten God. And multiple party members having been downed, Pohaku nearly ready to fall himself, he let out a last desperation spell of Shattering Earth, which finished off this creature that had been ignited. It was attacking you all while it was on fire, so that made a nice image. But as the Forgotten God has been burnt away and all these other creatures that were there have turned into just like molted snake skin, very dried out, the entrance to the cave is still sealed off. It had closed behind you once the combat had started. Oh yes, thank you, Phoenix just sent me a message. Reba's Death Ward being absolutely clutch in Pohaku not falling. Incredibly valuable use of that spell. But some healing magics have been distributed. Death saves had been rolled, but nobody expired in this fight, thank goodness. But you all stand here in this cave. What do you want to do?
Aw, Sissy went away too. Bye, Sissy. How y'all doing? I feel great.
I'm doing real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reba's gonna speak up. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, everything kind of hurts. You okay, Siobhan?
I mean, I've I've been better, but I'm not currently dead. So
Speaking of not currently dead, Reba, I don't know what I saw flashing in front of my eyes there. That was some crazy shit. Is this stuff you deal with every day?
Oh, was it kind of a creepy looking woman wearing real billowy clothes, kind of all Stevie Nicks like? The lower half of her body was all rotten and decayed. You could see dripping flesh and her skeleton.
healed.
I didn't
Stevie
get
Nicks.
that great of a look, but yeah, that sounds pretty close.
Yeah, that's her. Yep. Yeah, every day.
Reba, that is some fucked up stuff.
That's
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying.
I mean, yeah. I just, I talked to the, Sissy was, but she's gone now. But it's fine. But I think I'd rather, yeah, that was intense. But thank you.
Are you all right? You seem a little rattled.
Are you talking to me or Reba?
You, Pohaku.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm probably concussed, but, you know, that's fine. That's why I have everything written down here.
You know, that's not
Well,
a bad idea.
while you all collect yourselves, I'd like to sneak forward into the cave to make sure the threat is really gone.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth check as you sneak forward there, Garnet.
23. Happy to add to that.
23, you start kind of slinking along the cave wall. It's fairly craggy here, so and since you are a gnome, being as small as you are, you're able to find a lot of spots where you're well hidden in the shadows. And as you go sort of into the area where you saw the Forgotten God come up and out of, there's this pathway that extends back, and sort of creeping down around there, you peer your head around this last stone outcropping. You can see where this passageway comes to an end, and there is just a hint of a very faint glow coming from this back wall of rocks, and it reminds you of the arcane reservoir that you saw in the Shimmerstone mine.
Oh,
I will sneak back and report as such to my party.
Am I familiar with this cave? Like, obviously, like, this whole trial thing is new, but am I familiar with this cave in general?
You are not. I mean, you're familiar with this massive, craggy thing that has always been here on the edge of the settlement, but this has never been open or something you've been aware of.
Gotcha.
so when when Garnet comes back and says that it looks reminiscent of the arcane reservoir, Siobhan is immediately on high alert, or as close to high alert as you can be with like 1/3 hit points. She's kind of like, oh, feck me. All right.
Man, at least there's no way in hell any my people are gonna come through and try to mess with this one. We stay the hell out the woods.
Is the entrance still blocked by all the rocks that fell?
Yes.
Do
Oh,
there
hell.
be any other exits?
Make an investigation check.
Sure. That's all right. Investigation.
Uh,
8.
Oh, I like this music.
Of course not. Why would
Looking
things be
around,
good?
it's very craggy. It's very dark outside of the light sources that your allies have created, and you're not seeing anything that looks like an exit to you.
Oh, speaking of light sources, I'd recast dancing lights since being unconscious.
Sure, they would have fallen there. So yeah, your
Yeah.
globules of light are back up.
Do you all need to sit down and take a bit of a rest? We're not going anywhere, and it doesn't seem like anything's getting in.
I feel like that might be for the best.
Yeah, I could sure use it.
Ohaku, make a charisma saving throw for me.
Uh-oh.
This is
Is
neither,
this a
a,
magical
neither a
effect?
spell nor magical effect.
Never is.
It is sometimes. This just specifically isn't.
16.
16. You feel this sort of this combination of comfort and sorrow come over you, and you all watch as Pohaku, without a word, turns his head in the direction that Garnet just came back from and just starts walking
Yep.
further into the cavern, and
I felt strongly that was about to happen.
you feel very compelled to do this, Paco, and you were just
But it is a sense of comfort as well as a compulsion.
yes, yeah. There's just something very very comforting about it, but you also get this sense of great sorrow from this. But you find yourself moving. It doesn't feel like your body's being manipulated, but you don't have any desire to stop. You're aware enough to know you didn't do this just of your own volition. Like you have a high enough intelligence and know enough about spells or charms or any ability that something might have to draw someone. You're aware that's happening to you, but it doesn't feel malicious.
Hey, I'll be right back, guys. Don't worry. There's some sort of a non-malicious, definitely not magical effect that is calling me this way. I'll be back in just a few.
Okay, I'm going with
Say
you.
that I'm going with you.
That's
Exactly, like
It's
for fuck's
fine.
sake.
It's
definitely
fine.
not the sort of thing someone under those conditions would be saying.
It's fine. It's fine.
He's
I'll be
fine.
right
He says
back.
he's fine.
You know what's funny is I was going to say I bet we don't get to have a rest. I bet we sit down and then something happens, and I didn't even sit down, so I'm thankful for that.
Feel free. Go ahead. I'll be right
By
back.
the way,
It's
could you hit
fine.
me up?
Oh yeah, right here.
For helping it up, Siobhan, make an athletics check. I just want to see what happens. This is for narration purposes.
And your arm is pulled off of your
19?
body.
19. You're fine, Kira. You get air. You get some air there, Kira. You for a moment, because you're just coming back to consciousness. You got to kind of brace yourself a little bit. And, you help pull when someone's lifting you up. Yeah, you don't brace probably as much as you needed to, Kira. And Siobhan she has to correct for you, kind of dead assing her, and she's just strong enough. You catch a little air. You land, but
Okay, head rush. Great.
Oh,
fun.
sorry, I overcorrected.
No, you're good. I ain't never been
I think I'll.
knocked out twice in the same fight before, so that's new.
Well, again, Sid, don't waste your energy on my part. I'll be right back.
Yeah, right. They just fall into step.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you all come around this corner, going down the pathway that leads to a very craggy rock face, sort of slightly curved there, you can see the same thing Garnet did, where there's this very gentle glow, and you watch as you all approach, the rocks begin to glow brighter, very, very similar to what you saw in the Shimmerstone mine. All of you feel a sense of comfort as you approach. You don't get the same sense of sadness that Pohaku feels, but you also don't feel quite as comforted to it. Like Pohaku, you can almost feel like gentle arms giving you an embrace as you approach.
As I'm walking in that direction, I'll just make sure as I'm walking past any wall, just kind of holding my hand up and placing it against the wall, just feeling the earth as I go through.
And as you run your hand along the rock, you hear a voice. All of you hear it. Child of the serpent. It's strange. You would be the one, or less specifically you, but one of your lineage, to be entrusted with something so painful to remember. But that is just the way of things. Sometimes we can never fully predict what life has in store for us.
Do I get any sense of who it is that is speaking to me? Phoenix has an idea, and I want to make sure that Pohaku is not misreading it.
Make a religion check.
Okay. New dice. Probably need
Yes.
to get a little more light here. What number is that? That's a 10, so 12.
12. You're not entirely sure. Obviously, this is a great being of some sort. The voice you are hearing is feminine, but outside of that, you're not entirely sure.
We can all hear it, you said?
Every one of you.
Does it sound like the... Or wait, did we all hear the voice when we were at the Arcane Reservoir in the mine?
I
Or was that
don't
just
think
Pohaku?
so. I think that
Okay.
was just Pohaku.
Okay. Then never mind.
And the answer to this may be no. Is a 12 enough to know? Does Pohaku have any sense that this is Yord speaking with him? Is this a voice
Definitely
he's
is
heard?
not. Definitely is not.
Got it.
That
Thank
you would be sure that it isn't.
Right. Okay. I kind of walking along, if I'm able to, I'm just going to kind of drop to my knees against the wall, and I'm actually kind of facing towards it, and I just put both hands over to the wall and bow my head down. My lineage is something I've only just learned, but I don't know why it would be surprising. I've worked my whole life towards this.
Your relationship with the natural world is the probable reason why you would be chosen, why fate would deem you worthy of carrying such an instrument. Your ancestor, through being nothing more than a creature of chaos, took my son from me. And he can never be given back. And you hold that which took his life.
Two questions.
Yes.
One, I think she's implying on the dagger, and the Coven had made mention of that as well. The second thing, though, can you tell me, Loki, I do not want to confuse this with Marvel. What is what do I know about Loki? How is he regarded? Is it just chaos, or is there an element of good and evil to him?
So this, you don't even need to roll for this. This would just be stuff you would know. Like, this is the equivalent of, you wouldn't make the average like American character roll a religion check to know about the existence of the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Many people know that, whether they're religious or not. So in this case, Loki is a creature of utter chaos. Much of the chaos has come across through malicious actions, though not all of it. He was instrumental in helping Thor get his hammer back from the Frost Giants. He helped create some great weapons for the gods. But one of the, if not the greatest and worst thing he's known for was it was prophesied that the god Balder would die. And so his mother went to all the creatures in the 9 worlds and made them swear that they would never harm Balder. Everything, plant, animal, etc., with the exception of one. And that was mistletoe, because mistletoe was too young and small to be deemed a threat. And Loki knew of this, and he went and he fashioned a spear from mistletoe. And Balder's brother, Hode, the blind god, was sad that he couldn't join the revelry as all the gods were throwing things at Balder and watching them bounce off because nothing could hurt him. And Loki handed Hode the spear and pointed him in the direction, and Hode threw it and it pierced Balder through the heart, killing him instantly. And as you reflect on this, Pohaku, you find yourself unconsciously just drawing the dagger, and it shines brightly, and you can see it has changed slightly. You can update your character sheet. I have updated the item while we've been having this conversation.
I am refreshing it right now. Mistletoe. Oh, there's many more charges on it. Damn. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, and pardon, with that information, so who would, I have enough information now. Who is it that I believe is speaking?
This would be the goddess Frigg. She is the wife of Odin, mother of Balder, and promoter of marriage and fertility.
I look at, as I'm holding on to my dagger, and instantly feeling it growing more powerful in my hands, and knowing I've got this is a relic of relics. I set it down very gently, and I stand up and take a couple of steps back. Lady Frigg, I had no idea. I will leave this here with you if that is your wish.
It is not. And the fact that you would leave it behind after knowing what it is, and I can tell knowing what it's capable of, tells me that fate has brought it to the right person. There are machinations far outside the understanding of mortals taking place constantly throughout the 9 realms. And as each day passes, our king cannot help but wonder if some of those are soon coming to yours. You may need this. Wield it. Wield it justly. And perhaps what was used to cause endless heartache to me can be used to help protect those who are important to you.
I look down at the dagger, still haven't picked it up at this point, and just kind of actually like turning my body away from it, and just looking around at the group. eyes lingering on, as she mentions, protecting, eyes lingering on Kira. And I just kind of bow my head down, turn back to it, and can pick it up with both hands. This is knowing what I will do everything I can to make sure that this is used in your name and the redemption of what it has done.
Thank you. And I know he normally doesn't, but my husband told me you'd say that. He's got a way of knowing things, as you know.
And I'm going to, so with the dagger now in hand, I am going to, for the first time now that I can do this, I just reach out to the cave wall with my other hand, and I am going to cast Druidcraft. And there is just a small bloom of kind of like an ivy that just kind of grows across, and just kind of, yeah, just put that up on the wall.
Make a charisma check with advantage.
Charisma with advantage. I rolled it with advantage. The dice came up with the same number. They are both 4s.
Okay, nothing either way.
Actually,
And you will-
this is just a quick question. I mentioned
Yeah.
ivy. I don't know if you happen to know this. Is there any sort of a flower that is associated with Frigg? If there is, I would craft that instead. But otherwise, ivy is fine.
Let's see here. Oh, is there?
Don't worry about it. I druid craft the flower associated with Frigg upon the wall.
Okay. And there are some tell you that Freya is the mother of Balder and not Frigg. It is up to debate. Depends on which version of the Poetic Edda you're reading. I'm going with Frigg. So yeah, two things that were sacred to her is one is it was a type of grass. I don't know the name of it, but it was used as a sedative during childbirth. So it was a natural sedative.
Okay.
The other plant that was very sacred to her was mistletoe, because it was completely innocent in what happened. She never blamed mistletoe.
Okay, perfect. I will do that.
A welcome addition here. You are capable of great kindness, Pohaku Kahu. You are capable of great violence, but from what we have witnessed, you wield your strength when it is needed. You were unquestionably raised properly.
Just emphatic nods as he's hearing this.
I'm glad to have spoken with you, Champion Esquire.
I kind of flick my hair over Don't forget proud hair, my lady.
I would never. But should you ever make it to our realm, the Lady Sif would gladly enter into a competition to whose hair may be more proud, and I don't want to disappoint you, but I think you may lose that competition.
No, yes. Yes. Thank you. My lady, if it is not too much to ask, motion to the group. My friends here came to this trial knowing it was my own and putting themselves at risk. And I kind of motioned to, I'm at 1 hit point. I don't know who else is like super hurt right now. Just kind of motioning to whoever I see most injured. May I ask for your blessing upon my friends, that they might be healed a bit for the trouble I've caused them, please?
Make a persuasion check with advantage, thanks to the mistletoe.
That is a natural 20 on my new foliage die. First nat 20.
With the
Thank you, Dispel.
foliage.
Oh, so what's up?
It's so pretty, especially on that side.
You all fought bravery. You've all fought bravely. And those of you, even in the face of great fear, found ways to still contribute to the fray and not let that fear overcome you. And this wave of healing light will emit from the stones, and everyone will receive 30
Ooh.
points of healing as Freya will cast Mass Cure Wounds, and I rolled very high on that, and I'm sorry, Frigg, not looking at a different screen. Frigg will cast. I'm doing it mixing. It happens a lot with those two, and her being a goddess, she has a really high modifier to that. And I'll add those hit points to Reba's sheet for her. And I suppose one more thing is in order. And you will hear a rumbling back from where you came, and you can hear this breeze of air coming into the cavern. Your exit has been restored.
Thank you. And before we head out, I am going to take the dagger and not cut my palm, because that is probably the worst place a person can cut themselves. Just ridiculous. But I will kind of take it just kind of like across, just slightly across my pec, and just kind of get some blood on my hand, put it up against the wall, and just thank you. I will not forget this. I'm also going to pick up a small, just rock or pebble, just a small thing, just from here to remember.
We will be watching. We will be watching all of you. We expect great things.
I will do my utmost to make sure you are not disappointed. And I kind of look again back over to the group, just kind of a wry smile, and I know they will as well.
You will watch as the glow to these rocks begins to sort of fade out, no longer shining up brightly through the stones itself. You can still see a hint of what looks like just a small amount of that arcane light peeking through some of the cracks in the rock, giving you a sense that perhaps one of these arcane reservoirs lurks down there somewhere. Maybe.
Well, I guess we just go then.
Yeah, I was gonna warn about the, the Empire's interest in arcane reservoirs, but being that that was apparently Freya, or Frigg, I don't remember which one was Loki's mom.
Frigg.
That was Frigg.
Okay, right, yeah, I figure she knows already.
Mhm.
Is that, may I, can I see, just look at, I'm not asking to touch the apparent relic that killed Balder that you're holding on your side right now?
I pause at this for a moment, and not today. I will let you. For now, I want to keep this close. But I promise, I certainly will allow you to. Just not right now.
Right, no, I'll just keep Longina's spear to yourself, it's fine.
Don't cross the streams.
No, it's like, I don't want to touch it,
Spear of
honestly.
What?
I'm just, right, no, I don't want to touch it, and I also, I'm just trying to imagine the collective look on the faces of, like, the Empire when we go back in with the thing that killed Balder.
Yeah, the whole thing about, a lot of those tales about the gods actually being true is a lot to process. Huh.
Where did you think that Reba got her powers then?
No. It's not the whole thinking that the gods didn't exist or anything, but I always figured that those stories were just like stories. They weren't like literal. They were like something kind of like it actually happened, but that
Right,
wasn't like the whole thing. But apparently
sure,
those
right.
things just were things that happened. And
I've not managed to say. Alright, well, I assume we're heading towards the exit as this happens, and the whole time, Siobhan is speaking kind of in a stage whisper, because obviously that will keep a goddess from hearing her. It's like, yeah, we should move faster. I don't think I've said anything stupid yet. But it's only a matter of time.
And as you all exit this cave, much of the populace of this settlement waiting outside of it to see what has transpired, and you can just see very expectant faces, and
We all walk out looking like this.
and the first person to come up to you, Pohaku, is your mother, Nahele. She comes up, places her hands on your shoulders. We want to hear everything. Come home as soon as you can. There will be food, there will be drinks, there will be listening. And she hugs you close and she leans in.
As soon as she puts her hands on me,
Mhm.
I'm giving her a big hug and I just collapse into her chest crying. It was beautiful. I couldn't
don't
have done this without what you made me.
When one carves a piece of art from a block of wood, one doesn't carve away the wood to create the art. One reveals the art within by removing what isn't needed. All we did is help shape the potential you had. We are all very proud of you, but I have to ask. And she leans in and whispers to you, how did you turn your skin blue?
Forgot.
I am at that awkward stage of, again, I am full ugly crying. These are happy tears, but he is full on ugly crying into, her shirt and blouse. And, he does the half laugh, half sob, and I'm sure just leaves a big old snot imprint on her shirt as he's trying to kind of get a grip. And I barely even notice anymore. And I just continue sobbing into her bosom.
She's holding, and she says to you, I mean, I think we both agree it's not the strangest thing that's happened.
Nope. It was trial and error when I was learning. There were a lot of errors.
It's how we learn.
Trial.
It's merely how we learn. Let's get you home. Let's get you fed. Let's get you cleaned up.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I just continue to cry for another moment as she says that, and then eventually come up for air, nod, and Ariel, good to see that. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think like the other people who are around probably looking deeply fucking concerned. Siobhan and Reba are both like, he's all right. It was a lot. It's a lot. It's a goddess. It's his story to tell, but
And there are various folks. They're asking you, sort of like all of you, to give them some of the details of what happened in there. And incredibly curious. The only three that aren't overly getting involved in the conversation are the coven that you found, sort of that be told, sort of in charge here, the coven of the World Tree, Crystal, Marlene, and Joanne. They're not so far off as to be aloof, but they're clearly just observing, listening, watching.
As we're walking back down, I will take a moment specifically to go over to Kira and trying to keep my voice just between the two of us. You were able to hear all of that, right?
Yeah, sure was.
You've seen, and I kind of just motion around to all the different people around us. they're all my family. You all have become my family, and I am not going to disappoint a goddess.
Yeah, no,
I am. You have taught and given me so much with your knowledge and friendship. I feel like I haven't been able to return with all of what you've lost. But I will do everything within my power and whatever power Frigg lends to me to make it right.
Ohaku, you've already given me back as close to what I can get back that I lost. I lost all but one member of my family, and with you and with everyone else, I've got a family again.
Give you a big hug and a kiss
Yeah.
on top of that. Or, well, actually, you're probably, how tall are you?
I don't remember what I wrote, but I think we're close.
Okay, it'll be a kiss on top of the head. And
Short kings.
I just, we're getting Sortle back.
I know we've got time to get him back. Because as much as everything is ridiculous and topsy-turvy than what I know it, the one thing that I do know is the Empire's bureaucracy is impressive at wasting time. And they can't just execute a ranking member without going through all the hoops.
Yeah,
Or without,
Kira,
stabbing them in the back.
yeah, Kira, you would definitely know that if anybody can make them go through weeks, if not months, of bureaucracy and paperwork, it is Sortle. In fact, he created
Yeah, he
some
wrote the
of
book.
the systems. Yeah. So there is literally no one who knows more. If he wants to waste their time, he can, because he's also very well known. And the fact that he was taken from Halia's bar, which means there are members of the populace that know. So it's not the kind of thing they can just sweep under the rug and make disappear. This is public knowledge. And that, you don't know how much time it buys, but it buys some. You don't think it's an insignificant amount of time. Like, you don't go from arrest to trial to execution in 45 minutes when you're dealing with somebody like him.
I wouldn't be surprised if we had 6 months to a year, somewhere in there, at least, to get him back. So we've got time. And apparently, with dealing with deities and the whole stories from the deities, which are actually apparently real, there's a whole end of the world to possibly deal with. So, my things can take a back seat. As long as I'm with you, I know that I'll be stronger, and together we'll be strong enough to take on everything.
I believe it.
Together we might even be strong enough to make Mannix admit that he's wrong.
Never happened, not in 1,000 years.
There is
And I
one
think
day
you're
it may
right.
happen, but it is not this day.
This is my favorite recurring thing that Mannix just pops up in the middle of conversations. Where the fuck did you come from?
I was always here.
Mannix has the ability to just, retort whenever his name is mentioned. Just
Think of him as the anti-Batman.
And it doesn't take long for you all to get back to Pahaku's family's home. And even as you arrive, it is much like the night before the big party that was happening, a bit more low-key. You don't expect the need for a rave-to-puss here in the middle of the day, but who knows? I don't know what needs you all may create. And you basically have this crowd, any of you, kind of like hanging on your every word for what took place in there. They are interested and excited, and there's not just a sense of pride for Pohaku, but now collectively sort of to all of you, as they're hearing what each and every one of you did in combat, and they're also getting some of you to maybe tell some of the other tales of various things you fought. Maybe one of you, they're able to pry the story about the undead manticore from way back at Harmony Creek, as they try and find out exactly how you all met. And it is very relaxing, and I'm sure many of you are finding that to be the sort of tone that you need right now after what all just took place.
Scarlett's gonna grab a blank journal out of her pack and just start writing everything down, because she's realizing that this is important.
Through the whole rest of this feast and celebration, Kira's just kind of keeping an eye on when it gets later into the night. He'll want to sneak away to talk to somebody, but that's for night.
Sure. So we've got Garnet writing. I'm sure Pohaku is just very busy telling and retelling everything to family. What are all y'all doing right now? What about the rest of you?
Siobhan is this is going to shock you, keeping her head down, and is not comfortable with all these people looking and just trying to trying to not be noticed in any way. And I think actually she's going to look if has she seen, is there a smith in this settlement?
There is. You would have noticed as you came in. You did see a forge and a smithery set up over on kind of one end along the edge of town.
So if anybody asks questions, or anybody who's asking her questions, she'll answer them. But being, her usually deeply awkward self, but she does kind of ask around and try to figure out who the smith is.
Yeah, and you will be told that there are toothsmiths that are here in the Branch Mother's Den. They work together at the same forge. It is a pair of lizard folk. They go by the names of Litrix and Vith.
Vith?
Vith, Vyth.
Okay. Litrix and Vith.
Or that.
Yeah. So the person you talk to, basically, well, it probably won't surprise you too much. Most folks around here aren't big on using metal in what they wear and in too much of what they use. They feel like it breaks some of their connection to the natural world, but they tell you not to stereotype, but some things are true, and one thing that's very true about lizard folk, they are a very practical people, and they will tell you quite simply, if I have a piece of ore or some good metal and I can work it into a weapon or a tool or piece of armor or whatnot, why wouldn't I make use of all the materials that I have? So you'll find some folks who happen to have some of their wares, and this individual elven kind of pats his left hip, and you can see there's a bone-handled sickle hanging there, and it's clearly a metal blade on it.
Thank you very much. And she's going to try to go find one or both of them.
And it's not very hard for you to find them. They're both at the forge currently.
Oh.
And yeah, you will see them working on, just as you approach, you're not quite sure what it is. Like it's a billet that's just starting to be worked out into something. It hasn't taken any sort of shape yet, but one of them's working the bellows and the other one's starting to just pound away with a hammer. Kind of look up, see you approaching. They one nods to you, just nods in attention, and just goes back to what they're doing.
Siobhan would know. Is this a good time to talk to them, or should I not interrupt them right now?
You've done enough work in a forge that you know that when somebody's just starting to kind of like hammer out something, kind of giving it its base shape, any smith worth their salt can multitask that. They can do it while they're talking to you. They may only say a few words kind of in between each hammer swing, but yeah, this isn't fine detail work. This isn't like, okay, we got to keep something at just the perfect temperature. And plus, there are two of them working it right now. So the fact there is someone to keep the bellows going, like they're not having to like foot pump it or anything.
Okay. In that case, she's going to say, hello, my name's Siobhan. I'm a smith myself, and I see you're busy working right now, but later on, if you have time, I was hoping I could ask you a question about some new materials I found that I'm not familiar with, but I thought you might be.
And the one hammering, they kind of you can ask questions any time. And the one working the bellows, they look at you. Oh, I don't know how they teach smithing where you're from, but we can answer questions while we work. We don't use our voices for smithing. Do you hold the hammer with your teeth? Is that why you can't answer questions while you smith? That would be interesting to watch. I would be afraid of biting through the. I would be afraid of biting through the hammer with my jaws, but perhaps you don't have quite the same bite intensity as I do. So that is interesting. I can answer your questions.
Thank you. So I've got some black dragon scale, and I'd like to use it.
You say the words black dragon scale. The one working the bellows just stops and walks over to you, and the other one with the hammer is just very done with it. They're both. May we see?
I would guess I don't actually have it on me because it would be probably in the bag of holding which Pahaku has. So, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have it on myself right now. I can do Pahaku's holding if you. I can just. Do you want me to work the bellows? I can. It's not.
Make a persuasion check.
That's probably a negative because I think my charisma sucks. Yes, it does. So that's a 13.
13. The one that was working the bellows. Just Vith. Why don't we see what this new smith can do? And they step back, and she steps back and gestures towards the bellows. By all means, and the one that has now been identified as Vith has the hammer at the ready. Well, start. You don't operate the bellows with your mouth as well, do you? You can answer
No,
questions.
and I start working on the bellows, and I go, no, see, my father is the main smith, and you can talk to him, but my brother is very finicky, and he doesn't like to be talked to. He wants to focus. So I was just trying to respect your, specific artisanship. But no, I agree with you. Any wanker can talk while they're. It's like you're a wanker not to talk while you're smithing.
Give me a smith's tools check.
Which would use what?
I would allow you to use your strength for this. Like you're very strong, so that would be, I believe.
I was like, I do have proficiency in smith's tools, so I guess I'd also be proficiency bonus.
Yeah, you would get your strength modifier and your proficiency bonus on this.
Okay. Okay. That's an 18.
It's been a minute since
Yeah.
you've worked in the forge, but it feels like less than that, as immediately there's something comforting about just doing something you know how to do, and immediately you are just in your element. And you see that since one's been identified as Vith, you assume the other one is Litrix, and Litrix, who was working the bellows, she kind of takes half a step back and just notices how quickly you take to it, and just it seems effortless to you to just do these big, even humps of air there. I mean, I know it's just been the two of us in doing business for a while, but maybe we've just found a business partner. You say your father. It sounds like you're in a family business. That's okay. We can always branch out. There's things to be decided. So you black dragon scales. That's fantastic. You don't find a lot of those. You can make great things, and this is just crank, crank, and you're noticing their technique. Pretty good. I mean, not a Colm Finnegan, but no one is. But
Generational talent.
correct. But you would sort of put them sort of like just a step below your brothers, who have gotten very good at what they do. And you're looking around the forge. This is not the best of equipment. They're doing a damn good job for what they're working with. So, tink, tink. What questions did you have?
I need someone to remind me of what the hell that fancy ass armor we found that I was like, I could probably work with this.
Are you referring to the Freedy chain?
Yes.
That was +3 chainmail that allows you to speak infernal, gives you immunity to fire damage, and allows you to walk across molten lava.
Though probably not once I break it up.
But doesn't allow you to speak infernal, but allow you to speak primordial. Pardon me. But no, you would imagine if you started breaking it up, you would be sort of breaking down some of those abilities and different things. It is a heavy chainmail shirt, along with 2 gauntlets. There is some padding underneath, and then there's a chain hood that goes on over the head, and that's what it's all made up of. And then you also found that scale mail armor made of red dragon scale.
Sorry, I'm writing this all down.
Of course. Yeah, I went through our Sirenscape playlist that I use for all our games before we started today, and I was able to pick out I picked out a few
New
more
stuff.
so we could have a little more variety in it, because I was always using the exact same tune for it. So you'll notice we had.
Start singing along.
I'm fine if you do. But yeah, I wanted to give a little more variety to the music. So I was like, I'm using the same 3 all the time. So yeah, we've had more changes in music today than I think we've ever had. Thank you, Sirenscape.
And remember, Internet, that's not an ad because we pay them.
Exactly.
We're doing endorsements wrong.
So So as I'm working the bellows, I'm telling them about the stuff that I have, and explaining a bit about my background. I've probably been working. I think Siobhan's like 23, so she's probably been working at the bellows for at least not the bellows. She's probably been working in her father's shop at least 10 years. Probably more.
Do you name drop Colm?
I don't just
Like, and I don't mean like name drop of like, oh, you would know. Like, do you say his name in the conversation? Out of curiosity.
I don't know if I would, because I just assumed they wouldn't know who he was, and I would just be like, Yamida, Amida, I mean, if I might mention Ruby's Crossing.
Litrix, who was working the bellows, you're telling all of this, glances down, and I assume you wear Colm's hammer like hanging from your belt, so like on your hip.
Oh, I would. I definitely would have mentioned that during the whole time of like, and my father, my pa loaned me his hammer, so I will show them that. Yeah, I do have that.
Upon seeing the hammer, Litrix is. That may be the most incredible tool I have ever seen. And Vith kind of stops hammering for a second, looks at it. May I?
Oh, surely. Yes, right. I hand it over and say, yeah, my father was honored by the dwarves and invited to come to the Eternal Forge. Well,
as you say that, their eyes get huge, and Vith will look at it. Here goes nothing. And as they start working this metal with that, you notice that instantly it is taking shape faster. You're used to this. You've seen Colm work with this before. And you, even if you didn't realize it at the front of your mind, there's a part of you that knew this was going to happen. You're like, oh yeah, right, this thing
right.
moves metal like nobody's business. And you could now see what it is that was being shaped, and they're making it into like the head of a shovel is what's being made here. And just very, very quickly, it is like almost fully shaped. And looks at the hammer and hands it back to you. Well, that's incredible, and you can use you let us use your tools, so you can use ours whenever you would like. We just ask one of us be here since it is our forge. No, we want to watch you make stuff out of those things. That sounds most interesting and fun and fantastic. Yes, you are most welcome to.
Oh, thank you very much. I was hoping we'd work out some sort of trade, or I help you with your work. You'd let me, use, and also I could use some advice because I've not worked with scale before, or made armor, really. I've seen it done certainly, but me pa does. Well, he's the genius, so he does the. Actually, no, here, she does mention the name now. Okay, it's like, yeah, I mean, when you're working for Colm Finnegan, no one wants, you've paid for Colm Finnegan's work, you're not looking to get, something Siobhan Finnegan made.
Oh, you should have just mentioned you were Colm's daughter from the beginning. Would absolutely take any opportunity to work with an associate of Colm.
How far?
I don't know if there's a smith you'll find in the Western Realms who isn't familiar with him or his work.
Oh.
And Litrix just goes, one moment. And she kind of scampers off back into this shack that's very, very near to the forge. And you can hear just this loud clatter from within. It's like, where is it? Oh, here. And she comes running out and has what just looks like a very simple, like, woodsman's axe. And then as she brings it close and shows it to you, when you see the axe head on it, the craftsmanship is unmistakable.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know my father was world famous. This is a lot. But, look, listen, have you been up to Ruby's Crossing then? Or was this from before when he was traveling?
Oh, this would have been from his traveling days. We've been set up here for some time.
He came through here.
Well, not specifically through this part of the wood, but over in the verdant sanctuary, there was a bit of a bazaar of sorts happening, and we ventured out to see, what trade there was to be had. He was peddling wares, and we needed a new axe, so we got one. It's a very nice axe. Does a very good job. Your father does a good job. You should tell him that.
I will. Thank you very much. I'll speak when I speak to him tonight. I'll tell him that you said so.
Very good. If he doesn't remember who we are, just you can mention that we offered many different items in trade before we finally agreed on a selling price. He will likely remember.
Would you try to trade?
I mean, there were a few things. We first tried to trade various meat, which, well, he seemed a little put out when we mentioned the dwarf, but that was as far into the list as we got. Went owl, bear, dwarf, and then he stopped us there.
Were these made into sausages by chance, or?
It's a great idea. We'd have to meet somebody who knew how to do such a thing, but I suppose if we blended it all together, you'd hardly taste the dwarf in there. The owlbear would just cover it right up.
Sorry. Folks, we are making various references to a beloved character from the last campaign named Mirik, who was also a lizard.
Cricket sound.
That was,
Mirik is listening as we speak.
yeah, Mirik has a perception of 30-something, so he knows this conversation's happening. He retired from adventuring to make sausages.
And right now, you're in the process of possibly convincing two smiths that they may need to start a side hustle making sausages as well, because, yeah.
Yay, Mirik! That's him. We love him.
He's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when we got the picture of the last campaign, I was like, so everyone in this is daddy except for my character. This is Lizard Daddy.
So much love for my character who retired at level 3.
Right?
Come on now, I think he might have been level 4.
Pretty sure it was 3, but yeah.
It might have been. It was low level. It was definitely low level.
Anyway, I'd like to say we'll cut this out, but no, Jordan won't.
Oh, I'm
No, I'm not.
Jordan will
I'm
fix
not-
it in post.
not a chance.
I don't have time.
Yeah, like I just rolled for it. They're thinking about how to do the sausages, so we'll see if they start pairing with anyone on that. Because yeah, but yeah,
We come back through and Mirik is there.
you definitely have their buy-in for you to. There's our group.
Yay!
Hey, who's
See?
who's that handsome devil in the dark hood right there? I bet you that must have been the best character.
That's just Bandit in his hair.
Sick.
Yeah, I don't see a hooded character. I don't know what you're talking
Nope.
about.
Nope.
Definitely not our reoccurring villain who we all were so mad survived.
He didn't survive. You guys eventually nuked him. But that's a different conversation.
After
After
3
killing him
tries.
3 times. Like, but
Yeah.
anyway, back in this campaign.
There were 3 in the family. That's the magic number. So yeah, Siobhan, you'll be able to bring that if a 3D chain and any other things you want to bring here to attempt to do some forging, and these 2 will assist in that, which will
We do have the
definitely help with some of the
scale.
DC.
Yeah, let's not RP this, but I would also want to like kind of brainstorm with them different things that I could do with this. Like, should I break it up? Are there ways I could combine things?
Real quick, we
One
also
thing is-
do have the red dragon scale mail as well, in addition to
Yeah, I have that written down.
the Afridi
The-
chain. Okay.
Yeah, the Afridi chain, the dragon scale mail, and then just various, however many loose black dragon scales freshly harvested. See, right. So the main problem I'm finding, before I've even started anything, the main problem is the person that most needs any sort of armament is going to be a right wanker about what it looks like. So. And I'm not the designer in the family, I can make something to design, but I don't really have the artistic gift. Maybe I can convince him to design it himself.
I mean, the armor will look like armor. It's not going to, for example, look like a turkey.
Right, so this guy is a wanker, if I didn't make that clear, and he's very vain about what he wears. And if I make something beautiful, flawless craftsmanship, he's going to say, oh, it doesn't match my shoes. So,
Oh. Well, he should take his shoes off then. And then the problem will be solved.
good idea, I'll send him to you. I'll send him to you, and you can explain that to him. I'm picturing this conversation in my head, and it's giving me great joy. All right, so let's diddly because I'll just sit here and role play with lizard people all night.
Oh, I love lizard folk. They're
Me
great.
too.
What about any of the rest of you? What are you doing with part of your day here? I'm curious with what Mannix is doing, because you're out here with you're basically here in the hippie commune, and there's no Hilton nearby.
He wants to go shopping.
What's he
More-
looking for?
It's more of a morbid curiosity of what kind of clothing and other types of accoutrement are available at this. He's expecting more of a flea market, I think. But he's curious what goes for haute couture and high fashion.
I would say describing it as a flea market may have been one of the most applicable ways to describe this entire settlement. There is not a single household that doesn't have something at least nearby that shows obvious wares that they might offer. What's most common is some form of agriculture, as they're people of the land. But you do see all sorts of things. You give me roll percentile dice for me.
Uh, 46.
Looking about through everything here, you spot one home that draws your interest more than any other. It is just this small one level, mostly wooden shack with just this. The roof of it looks like it's almost made of like the consistency is like that of a blue tarp. It's not blue, like Buhaku's skin, but it's a very like blue tarp type roof. And it's also the facade of it is sort of recessed back where underneath where this rooftop extends, sort of like a tent canopy. And you see sitting in this rocking chair, very very slender individual. It's wearing very simple clothes and a simple tunic and like linen pants, and you can see this feline head and fur on the hands and feet. You can see just this one, the right eye is very glassy, in fact a scar going through it. It almost looks like a massive cataract there, and they're smoking this very long wooden pipe. They just kind of glance at you as you approach.
Are you the proprietor of this establishment?
I'm a lot of things.
Is one of them proprietor of this establishment?
On that, you are correct. What can I interest you in?
If you were to go to, let's say, a performance at the theater, what sort of dress would you expect to see amongst your contemporaries?
You talking about on stage? You talking about off stage? You talking about backstage? Or you talking about at the after party?
Yes.
I think I like you. I'm not sure yet, but I think I like you so far. What's your name?
You may refer to me as Mannix is fine.
Mannix. Now, I'm Plume of Smoke, but you can call me Smoke. They take a long drag off of the pipe and just... And you watch as the smoke morphs into an image of your face.
Well, that is quite the parlor trick, my friend.
Isn't it, though? It's nothing more than that. Just, a shitty little trick to amuse people. But sometimes that's all we need in life, right? You ever had that... Well, I won't say that because it happens more than once. You ever had one of those moments where everything just sucks to high heaven? You're not quite sure how you're going to put one foot in front of the other. And then the stupidest thing makes you laugh. And you just can't stop laughing. And somehow that laugh tells you, maybe not that everything's going to be all right, but simply that this isn't the end.
Well, yeah, I would agree with you on the colossal, what I believe you said, sucks. I'm waiting for that laughter part.
What makes you laugh?
Oh, heavens, how much time do you have? Well...
Look where I live. How much time do you
There
think
was
I
the
have?
time where my colleagues and I had to go retrieve a pig. That made me laugh quite a bit.
I think
Let's
I have
see.
just the thing for you. How do you feel about irony? And I don't mean bullshit irony, like, oh look, my clothes are ugly, but I'm gonna wear them on purpose and call it fashion. Ha ha ha. Not that. That's not even trying.
Here's my opinion on irony.
Mm-hmm.
Ohaku immediately walks over with 2 coffees in hand. I love you, man, and just walks away.
I'll allow it.
Give that man inspiration.
Yes, you can have inspiration for that. Yeah, I'll allow it. I don't know where you got the coffee, but I will allow it because the timing's too good. I don't think he is.
Is irony writ large, my friend.
That was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. So here's how this is gonna work.
My man is just looking around. Where the bloody hell did he come from?
You can't see Pohaku anywhere, by the way.
I
And
didn't
this
see-
is a fairly wide open, like flea market type area. You're looking around. He is gone.
How did he?
Gone.
Mannix just
So-
Mannixed.
Here's how this is gonna work.
I'll lock my bedroom door tonight. I'll tell you that much.
I
Yes,
have
it's
got
going to work.
the perfect thing in mind for you. But you're gonna give me something.
I just gave you a show. I don't know much more you want.
No. See, when you're in my kind of business, you need something physical to remember somebody by.
Oh, I see what you mean. The
I don't
big
want
fella
you-
who
I
gave
don't
me the
want
coffee,
you- no,
and
no,
he
no.
tries
I
to
don't-
give him the fist bump that Haku was trying to. And you need one of these, right?
No. An item, a trinket. I don't want your fucking money, by the way.
You'd be the first.
Look where I live. What am I going to do with it?
Anything you wanted. Get out of here.
Why would I get out of here?
Well, you just said from your own admission, it didn't seem to be too pleased with your surroundings, but
Oh, no, I love my surroundings. This is a great place to live. I like how you're dressed, by the way. In a former life, I dressed very similarly. The reason I ask about the whole don't know how you're going to keep living, can't put one foot in front of the other. I was rich. I'm not going to say more rich than you can imagine, because I'm looking at you, and you might be able to imagine it. So more rich than most people can imagine. And you know what? I lost it all. Don't fuck around with investments. They will. They'll take it from you. And I lost.
I mean, that's really unfortunate.
It was. And, I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep going. And I ran in to just some jackass handing out flyers. He had no idea who it was. And he handed me a flyer for a seminar that was all about how to make your money work for you. It's funny.
Is
right?
this the timeshare you purchased?
You know what? I may have if I'd still had money. This guy didn't know that I had just lost everything, and he handed that to me, and I couldn't help but laugh. And I won't tell the story of how I got here, but I've been more content here, reasonably broke, but having my own little piece of dirt that's mine to do what I want with. So, here's how this is going to work, Mannix. You're going to reach into one of those pockets of yours. You're going to give me something that I can remember you by. And I'm going to give you something here that I think you're the kind of man that would have an appreciation for it. What do you say?
You pitch an intriguing bargain. And real quick, how surreptitiously can I cast Zone of Truth?
Does it have like verbal and somatic components?
Yes.
You would have to make a sleight of hand check for the somatic. As far as the verbal, I mean, it's going to be obvious that you're casting a spell. Like, I would allow you to make a performance check with disadvantage, and no, it doesn't be disadvantage. Make a performance check and make a sleight of hand check, and the performance check is going to basically you're going to be trying to pass it off as making sounds like you're looking for a word, and the somatic.
So
will be doing
my thought was as we begin to is something along the lines of, and he's like, well, if we're going to enter into some sort of an arrangement, and he's just using just kind of that train of thought verbally as his verbal component.
I'll allow it. No, that works with me, and I will absolutely allow it because Mannix is the kind of guy that has done enough of deals there. What's your spell save DC?
16 charisma.
16 charisma. There's a natural 7. I'll tell you right now, it does not have a +9 modifier to charisma. So your zone of truth sets in, and you'll watch as smirk creeps up on one side of the face. I like how you do business. Okay, what's your question? What do you want to know the truth about there, big guy?
Who are you?
Oh, normally I'd tell you none of your fucking business. But this whole thing, I just have to know, I can't resist that. The name is Plume of Smoke. Always has been. Former citizen of the Thanomirian Empire. I made my home out in Green Gate. A lot of investing in, military might, to put it bluntly. And I guess I just backed the wrong horse. And where I put my money didn't pan out so well. And let's just say, when you live in practically a fortress city, and all of a sudden you're broke, folks don't have a whole lot of use for you. So I hopped aboard a train on the way down to Glimmershore, and my drunk ass fell out at the Verdant Sanctuary, and rather than wait for the next train, my drunk ass started walking into the woods. Some of the locals here found me and brought me home. This is where I've been since. And I like it.
Very well. Plume of Smoke.
You can call me Smoke.
Very well. Plume of Smoke.
So what are you going to give me? Because trust me, I have something you're going to love.
Is what I give you... Pardon, is what you give me contingent on what I give you?
Yeah, why not? That sounds fun.
Oh, goody, I gave it an idea. Very well. Reaches into a pouch and he pulls out... I don't know. Do you want this to just be something absolutely random?
It can be. It's up to you. If there's something Mannix, would have, you can look through your inventory. It can be something totally random also. But you can look through there and be like, all right, what What random crap do I have in here?
I have something you have not seen in quite some time. He's just reaching around, fishing around in his back, and pulls out a fountain pen. And he just kind of looks at it. Shades of your former life. Shades of what tools were used to bring you down. This can be used to great effect, my friend, to wrong those who have done you ill will.
You are not even ready for how perfect that is. And he very quickly takes the fountain pen. I like this. I like this a lot. Sets it to the side on a small table that's off to his left. So, as for you, he holds the pipe between his teeth and extends his hands, and then very quickly, all of a sudden, this bouquet of flowers appears in his hand. And as you look at them, you can see there are lilies, chrysanthemums, orchids. You would know enough, just being where you rank in society and the importance of knowing basic flower language. This is a funereal bouquet. He goes, I have had this bouquet for 5 years. He tosses it to you. As you catch it, he goes, give him a smell. You're never going to believe this. It's just flowers, man. Don't get weird about it.
Clearly you're not familiar with the Dragonborn sense of smell.
I am. That's why I'm telling you to give it a sniff. And
Gives
as
it a good hefty waft.
And as you do, again, your guys, this is a funereal bouquet. And he told you these are 5 years old. They smell fresh. They smell sweet, and it just almost smells like a spring morning. Here it is, a bouquet that is given in respect of death, and it smells like brightness and life. What do you think?
It's all very well and good that these flowers are 5 years old from a funeral, nonetheless. How do they retain their scent? Why do they not wilt?
Magic. It's just some of the crazy shit you find here in the wood. Also, that was just something fun for you. Here's your actual gift. He pulls out of his sleeve. You see it is a black wooden pipe. Very similar to the one that he smokes, but not as long.
Not as long.
Oh, honey.
I'm sorry, I've been holding it in.
You smoke?
Only on days that end in Y.
Give it a try. And he'll snap his fingers and a small flame appears at the end of his middle finger, and he lights the pipe before licking the finger, and the flame goes out. Now, that tobacco's from my harvest, so if you don't like it, fuck off.
I suppose I shall be fucking off, because I can't lie to you. This is... I'm not one for praise, I suppose is the right word, but this is something special.
Yeah, it turns out
very special.
Thank you. I do honestly appreciate it. Turns out I'm actually really good at growing that shit. Who knew? But I would have never found out unless I came here. And as you puff on this pipe, all the smoke that comes out of it takes the shape of skulls. So that's what that does.
Well, I wasn't
I-
expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. And I don't think I'm even remotely disappointed.
Good.
More of that magic, I suppose.
There's a lot of it in these parts. What are you looking for? I mean, in life, I know you're with the group that just came in, and I don't know. You don't seem like I'm gonna go trudging through the woods for days on end.
Oh,
type.
good lord, I detest a trudge.
Yeah. So what are you doing out here?
Well, there's my dear boy Kira, who I know he's more keeping an eye on me, but I actually like the lad. I can't let anything happen to him. Wouldn't hear the end of that. Probably from him, somehow. I find myself feeling very protective of the young Siobhan that has been gathering with us. There's something about that one. But someone needs to keep an eye on her too. Someone needs to keep an eye on all of them, actually. Well, except maybe Garnet. She does seem to have a good head on her shoulders, despite the fact that she's a gnome. Very, very short people, you know. And then there's that... I don't know how to describe the gentleman that brought me my coffees earlier, other than I don't think I would actually call him a gentleman.
No, I know
I don't
that
think
guy.
I don't think he would call himself a gentleman either. In fact, he might be confused and take it personally.
No, yeah, I know that guy. He's kind of eccentric, even among some of us. But no, he's all right.
As for what I'm looking for, I suppose I'll know it when I find it. Until then, I'm going to drink as much coffee as I can. I'm going to be as indulgent as I can. And I'm not going to fight any more of that, whatever it was we fought in that goddamn cave. Because I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that in your life. You're familiar with snakes? You've seen those,
I know.
serpents?
I've heard some of the stories of what some of the folks talk about. Sound like it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I could do without it. I'm not a big fan of caves to begin with, but there's not a whole lot of feather beds and other forms of entertainment in caves.
Look at you, Mannix. Indulgence, entertainment. And saying that almost seems like you're not quite sure what you're looking for. How are you going to know when you find it? Do you think it's just going to have a bright, flashing, arcane sign above it that says, "Hey, Mannix, this is what you needed your whole life"?
By gods, I hope so. That would make things much easier.
Well, if you don't have anything better to do, he gestures this hand, and all of a sudden, this other rocking chair slides up. You're welcome to have a seat. Finish your tobacco. And I don't know, how do you feel about alcohol? Don't worry, I didn't make it. I traded for it. I took my hand at making my own grain liquor once.
I wondered why your finger was missing.
Well, no, it's like, what do you think happened to the eye?
Your finger got jammed into it from some sort of a distillery explosion, I would imagine.
No, that might actually be a better story than what actually happened. But I don't know you well enough to tell you that yet.
Tell you what, I would very much enjoy sitting here and enjoying this tobacco, and I don't think I've had a chance to properly unwind. And this would be very welcome.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I've got something I've been saving in case I ever met somebody else from the Empire out here, and I was sure I never would. But here you are. So, I've got a little bit of, and do not ask me how I got it, because I will not tell you the truth. But I do have a little cognac left that may or may not have been from the reserves of a very, very self-important captain back in Greengate. Let's just say I considered it a parting gift and a consolation prize to myself heading out of town. You'll produce this bottle that has only got about maybe 3 fingers worth of liquid left at the bottom. He pours a little bit into 2 glasses and he looks at the bottle, he looks back. He pours a little more. Fuck it. He finishes pouring it both in his mage hand to carry one of the glasses over to you. I mean, I know it's barely midday, but the sun is setting somewhere, right?
You're from the Empire. It may have been a while since you've been in the Empire, but you must certainly have indulged in a pre-noon cocktail in your time.
I've indulged in a lot of things.
Was a pre-noon cocktail one of those things that you indulged in?
Pre-noon, a lot of things. Well,
How much is this going to ruin other whiskeys for me? I want to know right now so I can set my expectations accordingly.
I'm not gonna lie. You might never
know
touch the
not.
cheap stuff again.
As if he never did.
Well, my friend, this has been the most pleasant experience I've ever had in the woods, in a shop, I suppose this is technically called, with no roof or walls and lots of dirt.
I mean, I have part of the abode that's got a bit more of a roof, but I don't know you well enough to invite you inside yet. But let's work on that cognac and we'll see how you play your cards.
Well, cheers to that, my friend.
And as we step away from the drinking and the smoking, how's Garnet's journaling going?
It's going very well. She's started with the stories that everybody was telling. And she was trying to be factual,
I love that.
But
Trying to be
let's-
factual.
be honest. Garnet has a specific view of the world. And so there is definitely garnet colored glasses in which she is writing this journal from. But no, it's going well. And so she started writing as people were talking, and then she thought, while I'm here, I should probably start interviewing about the early days of Pohaku, so that we have the backstory. So she's going to start interviewing family, friends, definitely try to get the 3 ladies of the coven, and yeah.
And depending on who you're talking to, you're getting a variance of stories. Like his best friend, Marathi, very much probably tells some childhood stories differently than members of his family that they may remember it differently. You mostly just hear how appreciated he is by his family, by his friends, by the community, in that he is very closely connected with many quite strong druids, folks who just have this natural connection with the land. And through his studies, he has reached his own connection with it, which in many ways is nothing short of exemplary. And the Coven of the World Tree, they do very much tell you they've never seen anything like it of his course of study that brought him to this level of connection to everything with the land and of itself. And one of them, in fact, it will be Granny Joanne will unveil this quilt she has made, and you can see there is a section of it that sort of in pictures tells the early part of Pohaku's training and learning how to first connect with the land itself.
Garnet would like to try her best to commit it to memory so that she could minor illusion it later for reference.
I'd say go ahead and make an Arcana check.
I believe that is gonna be an 8.
An 8. It's very, very intricate. You find that there is one or maybe 2 patches on it that you're really able to kind of focus in on, but to take all of it in, because of minor illusion being a cantrip, it's a bit more than you're able to kind of work into the spell, but you're able to get 1 or 2 of them, okay? And as you...
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
As Garnet is talking to people, is it okay if may I ask for a persuasion check? I have something in mind that they would definitely know, but we'll see if you talk them into it.
Persuasion from Garnet?
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you'd rather I give you investigation instead to talk to people.
No.
I feel like Garnet should get proficiency in persuasion just for being so lovable.
She has it. No. Garnet's persuasion is... Sorry, I somehow closed my character sheet. Garnet's persuasion is a +7, so 17. And she has proficiency. I'm happy to add a D8 to make that 23.
Okay, I'm just going to tell you, because I actually had a relatively high DC on this considered, and I was actually thinking 17, and then you went ahead and blasted that out there.
Before you continue, you already have fucking inspiration. I was going to give it to you for giving another player a DC to roll against. It's one of the most beautiful things I've seen. I love it, and I encourage this. I can't give you double
a player, but I just can't get the DM out of me.
Hey, it's beautiful. You're getting kudos from me. You're getting DM kudos. Please continue.
So as you're talking to people, especially if you are talking with the coven, if you're talking with my family, just something they would tell you about for sure, just as you're asking about, little Pohaku, they do mention that the name Pohaku Kahu was only given to me after I had kind of forged this bond and had learned to start casting spells and communing with the earth. The name actually translates to Stone Guardian. With as high as you rolled on it, this would be something that you can see they are actually a little bit reluctant to bring up, is that prior to being known as Pohaku, he was referred to among the village as Kaumaha. Anybody who you talk to about that kind of brings it up carefully and would probably let you know it's not something you want to tell Pohaku to his face. In fact, if you're talking with my family, they would let you know if you do call me that, you are looking for a fight.
Why? What does it mean?
It is nothing. It's nothing bad. They would let you know it is simply what he was called when they first adopted him, because he was kind of a closed emotionally child. It translates to weighed down or carrying a heavy burden. And if you press them on that, it is pretty much they're just telling you that is the past. But that is, I mean, with that high of a persuasion, they would definitely, if you're talking to close friends and family, that's something they would tell you about.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
And Garnet, as it gets a bit on into the evening, all of a sudden you hear this voice in your head. You're familiar enough with sending spells to know how things like this work. And it is not a voice you recognize as you hear a woman's voice. Hey, so you're getting things set up in the assemblage. Cool. Big fan. I wanted to maybe become an investor.
New phone, who dis?
Pretty much.
You're not there.
Hi. Always open to opportunities. Need to know who I'm dealing with first, though. Please share more.
And a few moments go by before you get another message. Goes, shit. Yeah, probably should have led with that. Name's Grenla Billowtrick. Also a citizen of Glimmershore. Gizmopolis, specifically. Your name is making waves, girl.
Is this a name that I recognize at all?
Go make a history check.
Okay. That is a nat 20.
And so as you think about it, you're going, yeah, Grenla Billowtrick, holy shit. She is one half of one of the most famous thieving duos from the nation of Glimmershore. These two gnomish women, Grenla Billowtrick and Ilona Goldcloak. They are known for breaking hearts and breaking banks. They are notorious. One of them, with rolling that nat 20, you would know that one of them is a arcane trickster, and the other one is a wizard, specifically schooled in the techniques of war magic. That she, Glimmershore doesn't have any sort of real, standing army. They're very similar to the Vagabond Assemblage in that aspect. So those who have arcane means, many of them also learn practical magic for combat, because outside of them, it is all the geniuses of artifice that have offered any line of physical protection, but the belt of the Whispering Wood that keeps Glimmer Shore separated from the rest of the continent has always been the primary defense if anyone, say the Empire, were to think about setting their sights there. There's a lot they'd have to go through. But yeah, these two, man, they are... If you are a thief of any sort, you've heard of them. And up until right now, like there's a small piece of you that is wondering if this could really be her, because this is sort of like someone saying, "Oh, you're talking to Batman and Robin."
So Garnet is trying really hard to keep it cool because this is cool. But also, yes, suspicious because, it could be a phishing attempt or something, and that would be sad. So she'll reply, Grenla, wow. It is a fucking honor that you even know my name. I'm a bit busy at the moment. If you're in Glimmershore in the next few to several weeks, I might be making a trip home. Perhaps we could meet up then.
And a few more moments go by, and you would know that between the two of them, Grenla is the wizard, and Ilona is the rogue. Which you probably gathered by this being the one casting the sending spells to talk to you. So you're coming home. That is awesome. Cool. So you're probably suspicious. If you're not, you're dumb. And you're not dumb. Meet us in Willowshire. And before you even have a chance to respond to that message, another one comes through. Not enough words. Shit. Message us somehow when you get to Willowshire. We'll meet you from there. You pick the venue.
I'll just reply, you got it, girl. I know some folks.
I just saw what Jordan messaged there that you basically got contacted by Thelma or Louise. Not far off.
We've been having a whole time in the chat while you've been doing this RP.
I'm looking and I'm actually seeing some of the stuff that came up during the whole thing with Mannix. That's great. Yeah, and so it clicks with you really quickly, Garnet, because you did locate that property up in the Vagabond Assemblage. It seemed like it could be really good for business, and you did put some feelers out from there, and so now you're like, there is this part of you we're going, oh man, could this have gone up the food chain in the world of thievery that far? And if so, what that could potentially mean for your future cash flow.
Garnet's going to file this away for later because she wants Kohaku to have his time with his family and stuff. But she will at some point in the next couple of days just go to Kohaku and send a message to the friend, partner in that has the property and the warehouse and stuff, and just give them a heads up of like, is this real? Did this happen?
And they will very much thank you for the heads up and tell you that if anybody comes asking around that seems like they're dealing with that kind of business, they'll let you know. And so, yeah, as sort of things are winding down here in this moment, what is on everyone's personal agenda? As I know you all talked about your characters taking some downtime here with the Branch Mothers. So just so I know, for the sake of being able to write and prep, and as we get close to fading out here, about how long you guys planning to stay? Because I have a Siege Ball season to keep track of.
I mean, if we ever talk about it as a group, Kira would want at least 2 weeks to heavy train. So
yeah, and that would feel very reasonable to you.
Are we wanting to? And Pohaku would ask this to Kira, actually. We can spend as much time here as you like. Obviously, I'm feeling right at home. What about our quarry?
it didn't sound like she was going to be moving on, because I've heard that she's been staying at the same place from multiple people, which means either she's been living there for a while, or she has been there and doesn't leave, or she goes back frequently. So we really can get there. Plus, I mean, the Coven of the World Tree can find her at any time, it seems like.
Okay.
But we need to be stronger.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I cast polymorph, turn myself into a Quetzalcoatlus, throw you on my back, and take off at 80 feet per second, or 80 feet per 6 seconds.
It's not actually what I meant, but this is great.
As Kira, as you fly on Winged Dinosaur Pohaku, high above the Whispering Wood, Siobhan, you conversing with your new blacksmith, possibly friends. Garnet, gathering all the information she can on the history of Pohaku, and maybe even gleaning some details about the history of the Branch Mothers Den as well. And lastly, Mannix finding a little piece of home in the most unlikely place, and a offer that maybe you don't have to go stay this evening back with your compatriots, or some evening if it suits your fancy. While you're here, we will fade to black on the Branch Mother's Den, and we'll pick up with, yes, Pohaku.
I just have a question, and maybe we can ask her when she comes back, but what's Reba doing?
We'll find out when she comes back. We'll find out when she comes back. 'Cause I don't want to speak for Reba. I imagine she's probably trying to, talk to Hella as little as possible. But we'll paint that in at the beginning of our next session. But as all this closes, you guys prep for 2 weeks of downtime. There are 2 pieces to be aware of. One, now that Pohaku's trial is completed and Pohaku's homecoming is done, you are now level 8. So
Woo!
level up. And I messaged a lot of you about this. Hopefully all of you. Also for this, because it's been so long between level ups, you also get 1 free feat. If you haven't run it by me. Send me a message about what feat you're taking so that I can approve it. All of you who have sent stuff have been cool so far. And then when we pick back up the next session, it'll be 2 weeks later in the story. You will all be level 8. You'll all have these fancy new feats, and we'll see what sort of things you did during this downtime. But that is for then. For now, we are done, and I cannot wait to see what chaos awaits.
We're getting a training arc, baby!